What are you supposed to say after something like that? What do you say after someone says something like that? But I could feel the Holy Ghost fell on me when he said it. I knew he had seen exactly what he said he had seen. He talked to me about angels. He told me, he said, Brother Stone King, angels come to all of my services. They're there every service. He said they're very military in their fashion. They come through the back door and they will station themselves along the wall. Just like soldiers, they will stand. They will come on the platform and they will just stand. They're very, very military in their fashion. He said, if I preach salvation and pray for people to get the Holy Ghost, he said they will stand and watch, but they don't seem to know what to do with it. Because it is written, they desire to look into this. He said, but the moment we begin to pray for the sick, they know exactly what to do. He said, Brother Stone King, they begin to move in among the people and touch people. He said, I've watched every one of my saints they have ever touched fell on the floor and they were miraculously healed. For example, if you ever in a large service or a service like this or a big camp meeting and there's someone in a wheelchair and there's no one praying for them and they suddenly get out of that wheelchair and begin to run or walk, if you could see an angel just stepped up either side of them and just lifted them out of the wheelchair and they began to walk. If you've ever stood, and I've watched this a lot of times through the years, there'll be an audience and there'll be maybe one person back here or maybe a person over here, and they haven't done much of anything for the whole service. They're not doing anything now. They're just standing there. And I keep on working with people in the altar service and glance back at them after a while. They're still standing alone, but they've got their hands in the air and they're just sobbing and crying. An angel has walked up to them and touched them because it is written they are ministering spirits to the would-be heirs of salvation. We've got a hold of something, but we don't really work with it. We don't give it place. We don't give credence to it. But I want everything that God has for me. I don't know why this is, but I live in upstate New York, and right in the area where I live, there is a pathway, a routing of travel that angels, they travel back and forth from the East Coast to the West Coast, and sometimes I'm very much aware of the angels in the air over that area. They go back and forth. Angels come to my home. I don't know why they come. I don't know if it's because I have prayed some particular prayer. I don't know if someone's got a burden for me somewhere and they're praying for me and an angel has been sent to minister to me. I don't know, but they come. I don't see them. I have friends that do. I don't see them, but I can feel them. This place is filled with angels tonight. You can feel them. There's one on this platform right behind me. I can feel him. I think the reason I don't see them is because I live alone. And if I walked into a room and there's someone standing there, it would have an effect on me. Do you understand? Now, if they came with white wings, I would be all right. But just someone that looked like a human being, it would have an effect on me. How many of you can understand that? I don't see them, but I can feel them. Have you ever gone someplace and you know you've never been there before, but when you get there, you feel like you've been here before? How many felt like that? You know why you feel that? Because your angel has been there. Brother Barnes taught me that years ago. Since I've been raised from the dead, I've been in services where the power of God has moved. And I've had full-grown men come to me and stand and wait and just tears run down their face and say, Brother Stone King, I saw your angel tonight. And I said to this one man, I said, really? He said, yes. He said, Brother Stone King, when you turned and went like that, he said, another you was standing directly behind you, about 2 feet behind you and about 1.5 feet ahead. He looks exactly like you. I was in one service one night, and someone walked up to me at the end of it. It was at Landmark in Stockton, about 5,000 people there. Someone walked up and said to me, Brother Stone King, Brother Barnes' angel was here tonight. I said, yes, he was. I had a phone call just the other day. It was interesting. The individual said, Brother Stone King, I was praying, just really praying, and all of a sudden, felt you. It was like you were there. He said, I looked around, but you weren't there. He said, I don't understand. I said, well, it's very simple, really. It was my angel. Evidently, you're doing something that reminds my angel of me, and he's drawn to that, and he comes to you. You see, I may look like I'm alone, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone. The angel of the Lord is with me at all times. I am never alone. I was on a flight to England about 10 or 15 years ago, and I was in New York City, and the flight was delayed. Story of my life. And so I go to the counter. I say, what is the delay? And they don't know what the delay is. They just tell you, go sit here. And they're usually pretty rude in New York City. And so they just tell you to go here and they sort of forget you. So I went over here, and it was a frustrating situation. Finally, the flight was ready to board. And so and because I was anxious to get on the flight, I'm first in line to get on the flight. So they take my boarding pass, and they're cordial for a change, and I walk down the ramp to get on the plane. I'm halfway down that ramp, and I'm alone. I mean, there's no one behind me. I'm the first one through, and others are just lining up. But I could feel someone behind me. It was so real that I stopped and looked behind me, but there was no one there. But I felt the presence of an angel. I knew it was an angel sent by God, and I started crying. The power of God came on me. I walked on that jet crying. I don't know what those flight attendants thought. I didn't even care. I just got my window seat, looked down at the tarmac, and I leaned my head against the window, and I said, Jesus, what is man that thou art mindful of him? Who am I that you would care? Who am I that you would do this? That angel stayed on that flight all the way to London, England. And when I got off, I could feel him get off with me. And he stayed in that nation. When I went back to the airport at Gatwick, they just dropped me off and told me where to go, and it was a hassle. They called them queues. We called them lines. The line was about a block long. I finally get to the ticket counter, and they tell me, oh, Reverend, we're sorry, the flight is delayed. And they said, you'll have to go upstairs and watch the monitors. It'll be an hour or so. And when you see your number come up, then you can come back and we'll give you a boarding pass. So the longer I was up there, the more frustrated I became. And so I thought, I'm going to find a service desk, and I'm going to find out what this delay is. So I found the service desk, and I walked up. I said, I'm so-and-so, I'm on this flight. I said, what is the delay? And the woman said, I don't know, but I'll find out. She was gone about 7 or 8 minutes. She came back and she said, Reverend, she said, there was a truck on the tarmac that backed into your plane and poked a small hole in the fuselage, and there was fuel dripping out on the tarmac. And she said, a man walking saw it and reported. When she said a man, that angel was behind me just like that. The Holy Ghost came on me. That angel my guardian angel was with me. That angel saw that and reported that. Otherwise, that plane could have gone down over the Atlantic. People, from that time to this, I've never been afraid to fly. I'm not afraid to fly. I flew right after September 11 because when I'm near an airport, I put out all my spiritual radar to see if I can pick up that angel. And if I can pick him up, no problem. I'm on the flight. If I don't pick him up, I'm not going. I'm not alone. You understand? I live like this. I'm not talking to you about some storybook or some fairy tale. People, this is real. This is real. We are involved with the realm of the supernatural. This is not just another religion. This is a life-giving. This is a powerful force where God himself is working through his children to cause the lame to walk, the blind to see, the deaf to hear, the dead to be raised to life again, to reach our world, to preach the gospel.